everybody. Welcome to the SyFy Sistas podcast. I am your host today, Tamia Harper. This is the show where we give you our point of view. We are proud members of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network, and we are so excited to bring this show to you today. I am joined by my sisters, Sabrina Wood.
Hello, everyone.
Yvette Blackman-Tom.
Hello, everyone.
And the one and only magnificent J.D. Keeling.
Howdy, dowdy.
I'm going back to my whoop whoop.
Right. We're experimenting. We're trying all these new things. I don't know. We're kind of like the captain on Lower Decks trying to get our catchphrase going. So, okay. So, well, welcome to the show, everybody. We're going to deep dive into the Sam and Bucky show again, or as other people like to call it, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And but before we get into that wonderful stuff, we're going to dive into our wonderful sponsors, Science Division, the makers of the world's first and only app-enabled Tribble. We are so in love with them, and several of us have adopted our own Tribbles, and these things are just wonderful. They're so much fun. They have 3 modes. There's at ease, where it trills and vibrates. There's on duty, when it's actively seeking Klingon infiltrators, and it trills softly for friends and squeaks really loud when it senses a Klingon nearby. And there's Watchdog, when it guards your precious possessions, like batliths and phasers, and even those pesky comm batches that are so hard to keep up with. And they make awesome gifts, perfect for any Trekkie dad, like on Father's Day coming up. So adopt your Tribble today at Science Division. That's sciencediv.com. Science Division, by fans, for fans. Trouble's never been this fun. Okay, let's get down to the real nitty-gritty. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 4, The Whole World is Watching. So, guiding us through the MCU discussion today, episode 4. Yes, Yvette, episode 4. Thanks for reminding me, because I keep wanting to go forward to the rest of the episodes, but this is a good one. Guiding us through the MCU today is the one and only JD. Go ahead, take it away, Sister JD.
All right. Well, as usual, there may be some language. Who knows? It's a weird episode. If you have not watched episode 4, The World is Watching, the world is watching, how aren't you? I'd take this moment to pause, go watch it, then return. I'm assuming you have returned now and are ready for this conversation. So let's dive in to the Sam and Bucky show. With episode 4, we start off with a blast from Bucky's past, back when he was in Wakanda, with Io helping him overcome the Hydra programmed words. And, him, I can't think of the right word. Someone words here. Not the word I was going for. What is that thing where you embrace things, you confront your past? What? There's a word for that? I don't know. But that's what Bucky was doing.
You mean like healing?
No. She's going for a bigger word. We're going to think of this word. Okay. Everybody, break out your thesaurus and let's think of a word here. But it was a powerful 2 minutes. It was only 2 minutes of time, that scene. And you got a lot of stuff in that scene.
He broke my heart in that scene. Just watching him go through that moment and fighting to overcome and realizing that he was free. He took you through the whole gamut of emotions. I thought it was a really amazing performance that he did.
Yeah, I did too. I love Sebastian, though.
Yeah, me too.
But I thought it was really interesting that she said all the words in Russian and Zemo said them all in English. But it didn't matter. Russian or English, it set Bucky off. Not this time. But my girl was speaking Russian to him.
Right. Perfectly, by the way.
Yes.
So how would I know? I don't speak Russian. How do I know?
I mean,
we just assume.
See, now I wish I had paid more attention and I was actually watching this with like not the subtitles, because I do know a little Russian and I could have told you, but we ain't doing that right now.
Is this from your days when you were in Alaska and you could like see Russia from your window?
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure I've said it before, but I've taken a lot of languages,
Yes,
Russian, Italian, French, Spanish. So
hey, you could fit right in this episode because they were speaking all kinds of languages in this one.
that they were.
And for those of you all who might be a little bit younger than some of us on this crew, that was a Sarah Palin reference that Sabrina was throwing out there. Actually, more appropriately, at Sarah Palin and then Tina Fey reference.
But I don't know. But I love the relationship with Io and Bucky. We don't see Shuri in this, but she's mentioned. But she just felt her whole look on her face when she was taking him through it, and the scenes that he was remembering, everything was coming through on him. He was totally feeling it. You were seeing all these scenes, and then he gets to the word homecoming, and everything stops. He doesn't have any more flashbacks, and he's just like starts crying. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is too much. I can't take it. It's only even 2 minutes into the freaking episode."
Yeah. And I mean, first of all, I could just listen to her voice like forever. I love hearing her speak, whether I don't care what language it is. I just love her voice. But I thought that not only did he do an incredible job in that scene, but so did she. Yeah. The look of compassion that she let come into her face as she was telling him that you're free. And I thought how poignant it is for a Black woman to be saying those words, because we know from freedom and not freedom, any Black person in the diaspora knows from freedom and not freedom.
We know the word. I don't know if we know what it really is, but we definitely know the word.
Okay, I'm going to debate you about that on another show.
Okay.
So after we see Bucky and Io, I'm going to go with the word reconcile. I feel reconcile with his past is a good word.
That's a good word.
That's a good one.
And we get the immediate juxtaposition of her being all like, why are you letting out the man who killed our king? How could you be this ungrateful?
And circling him like he was just about to get smacked. When your mom is talking to you and she's behind you and she's in front of you, you don't know where the slap is coming from. I was like, Bucky was just standing there like, please don't hit me.
Because he knew he had to take it. Whatever she was going to give out, he had to take it.
He's looking like a puppy dog with his eyes down. Just like, oh my God. But what was your favorite? My line that I loved in this part was when he said, I understand. And she said, very little, not of our loss or our shame. She's just going to finish the sentence for the boy. No.
Right. Yeah. Right. Don't even go there.
Don't even go there. And then I'm sorry.
Did she call him James?
Yes.
Yep.
She used the government name.
Yeah, she sure did.
She said James.
He wasn't Bucky. He wasn't White Wolf.
Nope.
It was like James. That with your mama starts talking to you, she's going to use all your names. Mm-hmm. You're like, uh-oh. Mom just used my name like that. I'm in so much trouble. But I love that scene. I love that relationship with the two of them. And, we're going to see it a bit later. But I love that they flashed us back to, whatever was going on in Wakanda. And, you don't know. We never really got the whole, we were able to look at how he was, rehabilitated. But that was really cool to get a little bit of it and to see who did it.
Yeah. And it was also really nice to see. It's a really nice, subtle way of explaining, what a slap in the face that was.
Right.
Because, Zemo had messed with Bucky, too. But Zemo purposefully killed their ruler trying to start some stuff. And then after they took Bucky in, didn't have to, they helped him. They gave him a new arm. And then he's going to turn around, break the man out of jail, decide to be all buddy-buddy while we figure out what's going on with Carly. And then be like, oh, no. I get why you're angry. Like, oh, no, you do not.
Right. You're like, you have no clue.
I'll give you 8 hours and then it's over. Okay. He was lucky he gave her that. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Bucky was a mess. But after Bucky, we got our nice Sam and Zemo time where we kind of confront the fact that the guys, we confront the fact with the guys as they find out that Carly's getting worse. She's decided to blow up a building with people inside. She is officially a murderer now. And Zemo, which I love, paraphrases Erskine's statement of good becomes great, but bad becomes worse.
Go ahead, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I was with Zemo here.
Yeah, and Zemo had all the harsh truths where, talking about how she's a supremacist, this kind of thing breeds supremacists, Nazis are supremacists, Ultron was a supremacist, superheroes are a supremacist, including the Avengers.
That's one of my favorite lines in the whole episode. Is that she's a supremacist. The very concept of a super soldier will always trouble some. The desire to become a superhuman cannot be separated from supremacist ideals.
Sounds familiar.
And here's where I bring Star Trek in.
I was just going to knew it was coming.
Come on, can we all say it together? Kanumian sing.
Khan!
Great. That's a great arc on Enterprise.
All right, Trek geeks. We just gonna get back to Star Trek. Bill and Dan, we got it back to Star Trek. Okay, continue.
But yeah, and it's one of those harsh truths where, okay, just to be blunt about it, Zemo is right, and that always leaves a bad taste in my mouth, but I mean, the dictionary definition of supremacy is the state or condition of being superior to all others in authority, power, or status. And I mean, that's kind of what you need your superhero to be.
Yep.
Yeah, it is that. But what about Bucky?
Bucky's a hot mess.
Well, that's what Sam asked Zemo.
Right, but what about Bucky?
Bucky is the weird, complicated one where, I don't know, if good is supposed to be great and bad's supposed to become worse. Bucky, I don't know, was he like sad and just became more depressing? It's hard to say.
No, Bucky said it later on. He said, I'm crazy. Mm-hmm. He said, I know crazy because I am crazy. I'm like, I
think that there's, they not only do they say, what about Bucky, but I mean, they also make the point about, what about the original Captain America, right? Like he wasn't going down any dark path, and there's always an exception. There's always exceptions to the rule. And then Sam makes a very good point to Zemo that Zemo is, he says, isn't that how gods talk? You're trying to equate yourself to a god. You're trying to make decisions unilaterally, on an entire class of people, or make this very broad generalization. This concept is very broad. Is it always that the desire to become a superhuman has to be connected to a supremacist ideals?
Yeah.
I mean, what if I just want some extra strength?
I mean, at the crux of that, the answer would still be yes, because you want strength that is superior to someone else's. Like you can't distance the two because it's inherently built into the whole I want to be super, like it's right there. But much like Erskine's statement, like, you gotta want good. Like, right. Steve, he didn't want to become super so he could go punch Nazis. His whole thing, like, even in the beginning when he's getting turned down by the army left and right, saying he's from New Jersey of all places, he just wants to help. He just wants to be involved and do good.
Why is it New Jersey of all places?
I spent 4 years living in New York. It's always going to be New Jersey of all places.
Okay, I just wanted to give our listeners some context, especially for those who live in New Jersey.
I'm sorry.
Not all the SyFy sisters share this opinion.
Some of us
don't care.
No, it's actually in Captain America, the first Avengers, when Bucky sees his fake card and he's all like,
fake card.
Jersey?
Right. Okay.
Really?
Right. Who from Brooklyn? Never mind. I'm a little
Got you.
Sorry.
I forgot that.
We're going down to boroughs.
We're going down in flames. I don't want to go into that because we want people to
sorry
listen.
to New Jersey. I'm sure you're a nice place.
They're used to it.
My cousins live in New Jersey. Okay,
I have no opinion whatsoever.
The Garden State. I love it. They have a lot of
I've yet to see that garden, but
whatever.
Okay.
So one thing about that comment that Zemo made about, they were talking about, he said, well, there was never another Steve Rogers. And the look on Sam's face when he says that, because that was just another little kink in there about, I guess I really can't be Captain America. There's never going to be another Steve Rogers. That's how I looked at Sam's face when Zemo said that. And he just went, Sam did a head tilt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, it's certainly a lack of faith that, is Steve Rogers now some type of god? There's only going to be one person that ever embodies these altruistic traits, all in one person. Like, he's the only one who's going to be able to do it. The rest of you are inferior compared to Steve Rogers.
Isn't that what Sam thinks? Because he didn't want to be...
Well, I think that speaks to his, I don't think that he believes in himself enough. Like, he does not see that greatness in himself at that point.
I don't know. I think Sam just, because, when Zemo asked him if he would take the potion if he had it, he said so quickly, no. And he said, impressive. I think Sam is just so confident in himself that he doesn't want to take it. I don't know. I don't think he wants to be super.
Right.
I think he's right. Yeah.
And I think I don't know. All right, I'm going to stop talking because I don't know.
That's an answer too.
But I'm always concerned about why Sam is so quick to say he doesn't want to take the serum.
Does that concerns you?
No, it didn't. I thought he was just being really like, no, I don't need it.
But I think that's the superhero we need.
Exactly. Exactly. He's not looking for that serum.
He wants to be a superhero without being super.
He knows he's bad.
Yeah. All right. And then on the other hand, we have Carly in a graveyard debating whether or not we're going to make more super soldiers.
Wow.
That's exactly what they're talking about.
She feels she is building an army and she is going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah. And that guy with her there, he's saying, you're going to be the new Captain America. I'm like, oh my Lord. But he said he used to be a Captain America fan, but the world needs it. He almost said the same thing that Don Cheadle's character said, the world needs a different kind of hero.
Ready.
But this reminds me of what we went through for the last 4 years, how, I hear a lot of people, older people too, say, this is not the America I thought I lived in. Or this is, my identity has changed so much. People loved America. They thought it was something to aspire to. And now it's like, nope, I'm not a fan anymore. We need people who are like you, who are going to smash things down. We got to build up, tear down the build up. There's a lot of that rhetoric going around. And it just reminded me of that when he was talking about people are lost. They need a leader that looks like them, who understands their pain. Today's heroes don't have the luxury of keeping their hands clean. That was never a thing. What are we doing? What are we doing will outdo the legacy of that shield.
Yeah.
And that's what, you have a lot of people who are, they want a revolution on both sides. They want to tear down. They want this country back the way it was, or they want the country to be different. And I think that whole dialogue there was for everybody. Everybody who's been lost, who's lost now. There's a lot of lost people in this country, in the world, because they don't have like that place that they thought was the shining star. It's just like the rest of them now to everybody.
Yeah,
it's got the same problems, the same rhetoric, the same racism. Everything came out during the summer to other people besides us. Basically, we knew this was going on, but now the world knew. The face, the shield was dropped, and everybody figured out, oh, this is what America's really about. Yeah, this is what's like on the ground. And that's all I could think about during that conversation they were having, how the world has finally figured out what we're about.
Yeah, and I think maybe the writers had that in mind when they made up this story of people who were trying to, pass the Patch Act and get back to the borders and get back to the way it was. And then you have these young kids trying to disrupt everything and go back to what was starting to happen for 5 years. Right. When, and then she said, we had our homes, you came and dragged us out of our homes and threw us in the streets. And, you just can't do that to people, So, they're just displaced people. And as that other guy said, we're not refugees.
That so confused me because I thought, so they got pulled out of their homes, but weren't they homes that they took over because those people disappeared?
Right. But after 5 years, that's your home.
That is your home. But what happens to the people who came back? They didn't leave because they wanted to. And that's what I'm saying. There's a lack of compassion on both sides. Mm-hmm. Those people come, half the population came back. They didn't ask to leave. And now they come back and they have nothing because you took it.
Yeah. You remember that movie with Tom Hanks called Castaway?
Yes. One of my favorite
He's
ones.
gone for so long. And then, he's the thing keeping him alive is thinking about his wife. And he comes back and, someone's taking his place and he can't come back. It's like, somebody's in the house. It's like, and I always wonder, okay, here we go. We're going to go back to Star Trek. And what did happen when the Voyager crew got back?
Oh, definitely.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure they had issues too. Because they had time to bring them back to life. Because
people knew they were on their way.
They
didn't just show up like the Blip or whatever. So, but that's a big thing about when someone's gone for so long and who's right, who deserves, who should keep it. And there's not enough room for everybody. So, Sam is saying, I agree with what you're doing, but I just don't agree with how you're going about it. But it's a major problem. I think it's really a fascinating story. And I think we talked about it in an earlier show that I wish they'd given more time to this dilemma because it's
definitely.
It's wild.
It is. I would love to see a story. I mean, just the concept of it is, thought provoking. You're like, wow. That's because that's a lot of people that come back. Mm-hmm. And I can see this happening, and it's a great concept. I wish they would have put more story to it.
Well, it's a much bigger concept than they have room for in 6 episodes.
Right. Sure. Exactly.
I wish that they had not limited this to a little mini series of 6 episodes. I would have appreciated maybe 8.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have kept going. Yeah.
Yeah,
I could have appreciated
we needed a full
12, honestly.
We needed a full episode dedicated to just the Blip.
Yeah,
because to go from Endgame to this and then just be told things,
right?
It was I just would have liked a little more. Because it's very interesting.
Agree with you.
Very interesting.
JD, move us
back
along.
on task.
Sorry, there was no good way to be like, yeah, we should have had more Blip. And now on to a funeral. Like, it just doesn't work, okay?
Yeah.
But as I said, now on to a funeral. Well, not even to a funeral. I guess I could have did this better, because with regards to everything you were saying, you do have Sam and Bucky witnessing the camp that these people who used to have free reign of the planet were put into, because that was the government solution. Like, yes, we had half the planet come back and they deserve their houses back, but here, let me put you into this very small place with really no resources whatsoever if you really don't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got memories of like the Trail of Tears. That's what I was thinking about. Like, government resettlement is not a new thing, and it's always in some really crap ass place that has minimal resources, and people become ghettoized, right? And then you start with that whole economy of poverty that's going on in the place where they can't get anything, and then the larger society looks and says, "Oh, those people, what's wrong with them?"
Right.
And I really felt for them, because we have so much in our history that speaks to exactly that. It's a truism in a fantasy setting.
Yeah, and a lot of times this stuff happens because the incident that causes it is so sudden that there's nothing that you can do. Even like with Katrina, when you just had to just get these houses up, but then it malingers on and they don't come back and fix it, and you got people living in trailers for months and years, and but that initial, oh my God, we've got to do something, is what causes this camps to be set up like that. And you're thinking, all right, and just like the guy said in this episode, that we heard that months ago, that there were going to be supplies and things. And so that's where you have this, like you say, just these ghettos that will come up, and it's just over and over again,
Yeah. And I did not relate it to Katrina, which is wild, because my paternal grandmother was actually one of the people, like, how we found out she was okay was because my mom had seen her on the news at the Superdome.
Oh,
Wow.
my God.
Wow.
Well, and that's one of those things where, this was a, alien superhero war that caused this to happen.
Yeah.
But, that a lot of times people are displaced because of, a natural disaster. And you even have the same kind of displacement going on right now with COVID, with people having to move and change apartments, and they're not where they are anymore. You're trying to go back to what it was. You hear people now saying, I can't get my workers back. Where's everybody? I'm like, people had to do something. It's been 18 months. We had to go. So, it's just, it's not as unusual as people think. And I think we're going to have like a little mini displacement going on right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, if you can look outside in DC, the homeless population has grown so large.
It's really,
I mean, there are tent cities just a block away
shocked
from the White House, right on Capitol Hill, just a couple of blocks away from Senate and Congress. There are homeless encampments living under bridges, entire tent cities and everything. It's really very striking now.
Yeah. I hadn't been in DC for at least a year, and I started coming back in a couple of weeks ago, and I was really struck by that too. I just went like, wow, this is unreal, all these homeless people out here. So anyway, all right, JD, now that we know that we may need GRC or don't need another GRC.
Yeah, I don't have a solution, but we do have Carly. Well, after Zemo gets the information from a lovely little girl about what's going on, the guys first run into John, who was not happy to see them, because really getting tired of them just doing things willy-nilly and not telling him.
I'm so tired of John.
I just feel
Are you
for the
talking
guy.
about which part when John shows up at the apartment?
Yeah, when they're heading out to the funeral, he's all like, "What the heck?"
Oh, yeah.
Well,
When
the
heading out
street.
to the funeral.
Out in
That's
the
right. I
street,
forgot.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When they're all standing out in the street, yelling
That's
and
right.
screaming.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
superheroes.
Wasn't he talking to? Right, he was talking to Sam like he was Bucky's sidekick.
Yep.
You know, it was like, wait, what's happening here? Come on, sis.
But we do get to the funeral after John's little fit because Sam has to remind him, like, I used to treat soldiers. I am a counselor. I can talk to her. And frankly, John did not believe that at all, but he does trust Lemar. And Lemar said, let's give him a chance. So we go to the funeral where we have Carly kind of speechifying her beliefs after noticing Sam up in the wings of the fact that what unites us as humans is our struggle. And as one people, one world, we can get through it. And honestly, that's kind of the first time you really hear her like explain, like, why are you killing people, Carly? It's all like, oh yeah, because everyone is suffering and we want to do better. And it's a noble cause. I'll give her that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with her cause.
No, because we
Way
just
she's going
said,
about it.
she's on the right side. She's just not thinking this through.
Yeah, as Sam told her, killing people won't make the world better, just different.
Mm-hmm.
I know. So what do you think? Is he brilliant or is he just hopelessly optimistic?
Both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, absolutely. I say a little bit of both also.
Like, he's not wrong, but at the same time, talking has yet to be proven a good way to work things out. I don't know why, but history generally says words alone, not a good function.
He almost got it, though.
He did.
She was starting to listen.
Yeah, they were really having some real communication that was happening.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's not going to happen in the first conversation. You know, he may have gotten her to just stand down and not do anything else and then come back and talk to her again until, you know, our boy comes running in there.
Yeah, well, I will say that is just I won't even blame John for that because that's such a human thing. Because a lot of
JD is not going to cuss out John?
No, it really is such a human thing where, because I will say I was listening to a podcast and it really was enlightening because it was about conversations and confrontations and how to have difficult conversations. And one line that really stuck out to me was the phrase, accept and expect there won't be closure. Because most people they don't go into a conversation thinking, yeah, no, this is going to take time. They don't, actually, most people go into a conversation being all like, I'm going to win this. I'm going to lay out my case and I'm going to be the right person to ever write.
That's true.
Which, for the audience, that's a very bad way to go about a conversation.
Yeah. Not thinking that it's going to be something that, you know, you can't, like we just said, you can't solve this problem in one conversation in a funeral, you know, in 10 minutes. And that's all Sam had, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was not fair. I can certainly blame John for his absolute impatience, though, and his bullheadedness and lack of faith in the abilities of these other people that are there. You know, that is all, it's all straight on him, you know, and his desire to just like bum rush his own idea. And
I don't know if I agree, simply because, like, John is crazy. We all see John's crazy.
Right.
But he is crazy and protective. Because his thing wasn't like, oh, hey, we got to go in there because let's take down Carly. His thing was, I can't leave Sam in there. What if she attacks him?
His thing was let's go in and save Carly. That was his main objective. When they had to stop him from bum rushing in there to go take down Carly. No, that was his objective.
No, because when he talks to Bucky and Bucky tells him it's only been 10 minutes, he asks Bucky, "Are you really going to leave Sam in there with her alone?"
Yeah, no,
that was a ploy. That was a ploy.
Exactly.
That's out of his way.
That's my point. Like his whole mission from when he got there to the whole time was to get to her, was to get to Carly. And he was simply using it, like you said, as a ploy, as another tactic to try to sway Bucky over to his way of thinking for the action that he wanted him to take.
See, I don't agree, but I can't explain that until we keep going.
Okay.
John has a weird psychotic protectiveness about him, but we're not there yet. Okay. Instead, let's move on to, John busts in.
When he does bust in. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, he busts in.
He does what he was going to do anyway. He does what he set out to come there to do any damn way. Consequences be damned.
Look, he barged into the room like an American, and
like a man.
It sent everyone scattering, and we then get the true person who wanted to confronting Carly.
And head scratcher. How did he get out of that handcuff?
I mean, handcuffs are actually very easy to break out of, but that's a podcast for a different day.
Uh-oh. This is some information from JD. Okay. All right. I would have been that dumb one that was still standing there, but go ahead.
As they're being put on, you flex your wrist and force it forward, so that way it creates a gap that you can eventually slip your hand out of. Anywho.
Depending on who puts them on you, of course.
Uh-huh. All right, these sisters know more about handcuffs than I even want to get. Not gonna touch that. Okay, so
some other stuff about handcuffs, but
JD, lead us on, yeah. JD.
So what we have is Zemo attacking Carly. He shoots her. He finds out, oh, this is the serum. I'm gonna break it, and then, like we said before, good becomes great, bad becomes worse, crazy becomes an absolute nut job as John busts into the room, knocking Zemo out with the shield.
Oh man, he clocked him with that shield.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know how he didn't kill him.
I know.
No remorse.
It's one of those, one of those cartoon hits where you should be dead.
Like anvil, one of the anvils going.
Yeah, a Wile E. Coyote anvil to the head.
I wish I had the sound effect machine right now so we could have the sound. You know how the anvil was like, and almost had that high pitched.
Birdies should have been flying around.
And the birds circling and tweeting.
He was down.
Zemo.
But I do admire Zemo for he shot Carly. He wasn't playing. He's like, I'm gonna kill all the superheroes, the superhumans, and I'm gonna break this up. And this is gonna end here.
Well, there were just so many extremist goals, extremist mindsets meeting. Right there. It was just so, bombastic. Just okay. Anyway.
He was about it. He said he was going to finish that mission. That's all he knew.
Look, the only difference between Zemo and John is Zemo knows how to keep some things to himself.
Yeah.
John is very obvious about what his goal is. Zemo's all like, I'm going to just stand here and be quiet.
Well, John's not smart enough to be subtle. He's not the brightest puppy in the litter. I'm just saying.
I think that that's not John's. He's tall. He's a tall white man, blonde, and soldier hero. That's not the way he's taught to be. I don't think it's a matter of him being intelligent or not intelligent. It's just a matter of him being like, I don't have to come sneaky slide around and do all this stuff. I'm. Don't you know who I am? And he was doing that before he was, before he was Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, somehow Zemo woke back up because we see him next with everyone else in the hotel room. You know, the guys are arguing. We got to figure out, what are we doing? How are we going to attack this? Oh, and then the Dora Milaje break it.
Oh my girl! And then the episode starts getting good.
Right.
Yeah, like
Finally got good.
you see John just being honestly the dumbest person in the room.
Oh, he's so.
He's so simple. He's so simple.
The pointy sticks.
Let me talk about the pointy sticks.
Uh-oh.
No.
Wow.
I love him though, because he came in and he tries to be all like, "Hi there, I'm Captain America.
Oh my God.
Let me help you out." And they're just looking at him like, "What planet are you from?"
The look they gave him, the stare. The sisters didn't have to say a word. The sisters just looked at him like, "What?"
He said, "Hello,
do you think this ant, this ant, I could crush you?"
And it's hilarious because to say he went to a predominantly black school, no one ever taught him, do not place your hands on a black woman unless she lets you.
Thank you.
I was like, what are they teaching at his high school that he did not know that?
Like, you were married to a black woman, dude. How did you miss that lesson?
Yeah, I'm so confused by all of that.
Well,
the HBCU band, I don't know what the hell was going on when he. What high school was that?
How is he married to a black woman though?
Like, he don't know. Don't put your hands on a sister like that.
He's married to a black woman. His best friend's a black man. Ain't no one ever tell him, look.
Okay,
there's just certain things you don't do.
Who are these black people?
That's what I was about to say.
Their fault. That's their fault. It's not John's fault.
Thank you.
That's his wife and his best friend's fault. They let him
for letting him exist in that fantasy world.
I have white friends and we let them
co-signing that shit.
We tell them, don't do that.
This was the scene that set the sisters off, apparently.
I mean, you can't. First of all, Lemar. I can't with you, Lemar. I can't. I cannot. You know, like your whole reason for existing is to be this man's moral compass? What the? Are you kidding me? And then you're going to get your ass killed for him? What the? Stop.
So, before that, the Dora Milaje.
You know, my white friend can do no wrong. My white friend can do no wrong. You know, and then the sister that's dating him. Okay, fine. I'm not downing her because she's dating a white man. That don't get it twisted. That's not. I have dated many a white man in my life. Like I'm an open opportunity dater. I like all people. I'm serious. I don't have a type. I don't have a type.
Yeah,
it's like
you're a dater.
You're a great date. You're a great human being. Let's try this. Okay. You know, but her, like you said, she's living with him and feeding all this machismo and crap with him that he's striding around the world with. You know, like somebody, I can't with them.
Yeah.
With the two of them.
They both of them are wrong. They're all wrong for what they did to that man.
And then, oh my God.
Because they should have told him.
Let me not get into episode 5. I'm going to stay right here, episode 4.
Oh, wait, so it's Lemar and the sister's fault that John is like this?
It's not their fault. It's not their fault.
It's their fault that they didn't tell somebody did not tell him, don't touch that black woman. He been around black folks enough where he should know. You know, my ex-husband is Chinese, right? He knows. He knows the rules. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Right.
I have white friends. If they hanging out with us and you see them do something wrong, you let them know. Don't
it's
do
like
that.
those subway signs. See something, say something.
Say something.
Right. If they say something crazy out their mouth about how, you know, if they come out with the you people.
Yes.
You know, you're going to have to pull them up.
Listen,
that's not cool.
That's not cool. We don't do that. Let me tell you why it's not cool. And if they're your friend, they're like, oh, thank you for telling me.
Right.
Yeah, no, John's best friend in that moment was Bucky. Because you have Sam being all like, oh, Bucky, do something. And Bucky's just all like, you're looking good.
Looking strong, John.
Looking strong, John. You got it. I was like, damn.
That was hilarious.
Like, that's a true friend right there.
Zemo just kept on sipping on his drink. He was like, I'm just going to enjoy
that cherry
this.
blossom tea.
Okay, so can we go back to the pointy sticks?
Yes.
Pointy sticks, yes. What do you want to say?
Oh, everything was so wrong with that statement. It was so patronizing, so completely patronizing. And I'm like, you're supposed to be a fighting man, and you don't know that a stick is the oldest damn weapon on the earth? Every culture on the planet has a fighting style entirely dedicated to fighting with the stick.
Including us, including the U.S. Army.
Especially since she almost just took your head off with it.
It's like you cannot underestimate a stick. But then the pointy part of it, that brought it up to this whole other level that a lot of us have been raised around that word, spear chucker. You don't hear it. I mean, the younger people might not be as familiar, but you don't hear it as much these days. But, Bugs Bunny cartoons, there was a whole bunch of Bugs Bunny cartoons based around spear chuckers. Chucking a spear was that really cliched stereotype of Black folks from Africa. And there was something wrong with you and your spear and your not unmodern weapon, your tribal, all of these things were said in a pejorative way, right? So for him to go with the pointy spear thing, I don't know if y'all know that old joke, but it was called Death by Ruru. And I'm thinking that's what the Dora Milaje were thinking.
Not the Ruru.
Death by Ruru. As soon as he said that pointy stick. If y'all don't know Death by Ruru, look it up.
Big E on this one.
And
oh my God. Yes, I think that
it's also a very racist joke. I'm sorry. Don't look it up. It just
don't look it up. No.
Don't say it.
But I did like that scene. I thought that was really interesting. Everything he just came right down the wrong way, and everything just went bad. Lemar got taken out in a second. I mean, the three sisters just took
decided to join in. Bucky apparently found all his whiteness and decided to use it in that moment.
Oh my God, right?
Because the look of shock that they would disable his arm, like, how dare you? So, like, Bucky, who gave you the arm?
You can do that?
It's my damn arm.
You thought that belonged to you? That is property of Wakanda.
Right? Property, James.
And it was funny because, you're right, JD. I thought that both times because she let him take the arm back, and the other sister threw the shield down, and she said, "Leave it." Like, I'll take this shit with you, okay? I'm gonna leave it right here. You can have the arm, you can have the shield. Right. I'm gonna take my pointy stick that I just beat your ass with.
Right, the pointy stick that I just beat your ass all up and down this room with. And I wrote in my notes about because I was laughing. I wrote in my notes, I'm like, John Walker just got his ass kicked all up and down that room by some Black women, and he don't know what to do with himself. He just and I was like, that's what American society is going through right now. Like the dominant culture of American society that we think of as these white males, right, are going through this whole like. They're all looking like John Walker right now because they're getting their asses kicked all over the place by some Black folks, and especially Black women, Black and brown people, and they don't know what's coming, and not kicked like physically. I'm not advocating. I'm just saying, like we're coming into our own. We're not going to take shit anymore. We're not taking the same treatment anymore. And they don't know what's hit them. And we're doing great. Like we're thriving and surviving, and we're strong, and we're making money, and we're making inroads in all sorts of businesses, and they just look like they don't know what hit them. And I was like, I love this show for doing that, for embodying all of that, and God forbid we had a black president and now we got a black woman as vice president. What? Black and Asian woman? They don't know what's happening. They can't stand it. And they all look like John Walker right now.
They're going to be all right, though.
Oh, they will be all right.
Everybody going to be all right. But I thought it was really interesting that you said that about John being so patronizing, because he uses that word. He screamed it earlier about don't patronize me. So did Carly. Don't patronize me.
Yep.
And
the biggest babies are always the one whining. Yep.
Both of them.
The biggest babies are always the ones that do that the most.
Yeah. So, and they weren't even superhumans. They weren't even.
Yeah. No. I honestly, we learn what kind of friend Lemar is as he helps John come to terms with that. Because John is shook. John's all like, I don't know what to do. It's you see a human moment with John, because that's where he actually does mention, like, should I take the superhero, the super serum? And Lamar's all like, I mean, look at you. You're Captain America. You got 3 medals of honor. What is that serum going to do? And John's just all like, yeah, that was getting those 3 happened on the worst day of my life, the worst 24-hour period of my life. While being Captain America, he says, is the first time he's felt like he's doing right. And he still doesn't feel like he's living up to Steve Rogers, because it's a complex everyone has.
Well, sure. Because he just got his ass kicked by a bunch of women with some pointy spears. Sticks. Thank you.
Yeah.
And now he's feeling some kind of way because he realizes, oh, I'm not the be all end all,
Looking for that vial.
And I think it's even more degrading, because it's a bunch of women who with a stick.
Yeah, and
it's true.
Like I said, we see what kind of friend Lemar is, because his advice is, hell yes, I would take that if given the chance. So we already know he's a lost cause. But his explanation is, like, power just makes you more of who you are.
Right.
Like, it won't change you. It just makes you the same person you are, but times 10. And honestly, knowing your friend is a complete basket case who's like one anxiety attack away from just like taking out everyone, maybe don't give that advice.
Yeah, that's wrong advice.
You're right about that. You're right. We learned everything we need to know about Lemar right then. You're absolutely right.
Just, what
you say, Yvette? Where's the lie? Fran says that. Where's
Fran
the lie?
Says that. That's Fran.
Where's the lie?
That's right.
I
think we all, as Black people, we knew what Lemar was about.
Oh no! Like I'm pretty sure in like our episode 1 podcast, I made the comment like he is the most untrustworthy Black man to ever black.
Yep, you sure did.
You sure did. I was. Oh yeah. No. We knew the minute we saw him. I was like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
I think we're all being nice by not calling him the word that we're
not going to do that here.
Not going to do that to him, brother.
We're not going to do that.
But we know what we're thinking.
Yeah, that's why I said we all know what we saw when we first saw him. And now, well, there you go. Yes, he's just telling you more.
Yeah. And just like we have that moment with those two showing who they are, we see John actually, he has a complex. He's conflicted. He has emotions beyond obnoxious white guy. We learn Lemar is just like not a friend. He is not a friend. Okay. In the next scene, we see Carly calling up Sarah, and we learn who she is. And it's not just in the call. It's in the fact that as soon as she hangs up off that call, where she very much is all like, yeah, tell your brother where to be or I will find you and kill you and your kids. Like, it's the fact that the moment she hangs up, she has this look where it's all like, what am I becoming? Like, I don't like me right now.
Right.
Yep. That was exactly what made that moment.
Yep.
And because without I can't remember the actress's name now. Oh, I'm sorry. Without her turning that and giving us that human moment, then that scene was just pastiche. It was bad guy 101.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like seeing that side of Carly. Brief though it was. It's just like that.
Yeah.
That
But she said
moment
she
where
thought
it's
she
all
liked Sarah. She said, I think and she's thinking that she likes Sam, and she thinks she likes Sarah, and and just for her to, I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is going to be more of a Sarah's going to also help turn her, and then Carly just goes, I'll come after you and the nephews. I was like, oh snap, this is wow.
Erin Kellyman.
Yes.
Erin is her name. She's did a really fantastic job as Carly, I thought.
Yeah. And I love the moment simply because you see her compromising her morals in order to not compromise her mission. Which honestly says a lot about her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have to like herself. She just has to be able to help others as she sees herself doing.
Well, what about Sarah's line in that conversation that I wrote down? Yvette, you're nodding your head. Go ahead. What's the line, girl?
It goes, well, I think Carly told her something about your brother's working for the new Captain America. And Sarah goes, I didn't choose him. And she says, well, who do you choose? My world does not matter to America. So why should I care about their mascot?
Bingo.
Yes.
I love that.
I love that line, because here it is. That's the whole gist of the whole 6 episodes.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's Black America right there.
Yeah, that's the America most people live in. I don't even say it's Black America. Yeah. It's like most of us live in that world.
Yeah.
Well,
but I mean, we've lived in that world for a lot longer.
Yeah, we definitely know it, and we recognize it.
We know it, and we help build it. And they won all the prizes. We built everything up, and they lived the American dream while we built it for them.
What did that mean?
I digress. Go ahead.
But I thought that was the line of as I said earlier, this is the money episode right here, because everything this series is about is explored in this episode. The geopolitics, the relationships, the craziness of the characters, and just the sense of why would a Black man pick up that shield?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we see, like, Sam is committed to helping Carly, because he does go. He does try to talk to her, and he realizes he was not the target. The target was John. That's who they want. And the Flag Smashers go after John. Everyone they take out Lemar, who manages to free himself, goes into battle, hops on Carly's back in order to help everyone else, and she punches him into a pillar.
Yeah.
Oof.
And moment he dies, I feel it, like, Lamar's death, like, we already saw what kind of friend Lemar was. But we see John is actually a much better friend than Lemar. Because, honestly, this is the second time in Marvel where you've had a Black man get injured and then someone immediately just lose their shit. Like, no, this is not okay. We are not letting this happen. The first time it was with Iron Man when Rhodey got shot down.
Oh, man.
And now we have it with John, who's all like, I'm about to take everybody out for hurting this one man.
Yeah.
The whole fight stopped.
Yes.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I actually appreciate that about John, because even if it's not the heroic thing to do, it's what I want to see someone do. Okay, like, if I get hurt, I want my friends to just stop everything and be like, oh, hell no, I'm gonna take a homie out now.
Well,
like, I want that support.
That's a different kind of friend, because even though we know what kind of friend Lemar is, to John, he was his battle buddy. They went through all of that together. All that stuff that John got those medals for, Lemar was there. So that's his battle buddy. That's a different thing. I think I've said that before. It's just a different
Lemar,
type of.
And that's why I think Lemar was hanging. We cracking on Lamar's black card.
Yeah.
But I think that's the same thing the other way. Lemar had that was his battle buddy.
Oh,
You didn't go through shit like that without coming out. Yeah. He joined at the hip. Yeah. Like, I know I can trust you.
They know things about each other that nobody else knows.
Yeah.
They've done things that they can't tell anybody else about.
Right.
So that's just different. It's just, and it's the only way. And they survive because of each other. Because at least you got somebody who knows what you're going through, and I think that's when everything was leading up to that. And when Lemar died, that just totally, he was done. He became that totally different person. That was the end. He was going to be crazy from
I'm going to get whoever.
Yeah. All his frustration.
I think the writers did a really good job with showing that arc. John's arc of his psychological fracturing, from the person that he started out with, just being plagued as just a regular, like normal insecurities that a lot of us have, and being put to a position or a job or that's larger than what we feel like we're ready for, already, and then to this journey of the complete breaking point. So he's emasculated by, getting his ass whooped by all these women, and then consistently getting his ass whooped because Carly keeps kicking his butt too. Carly's been kicking his butt, but she's got the super soldier serum. So, the Dora Milaje didn't have any serum. They're just badass, to then losing his friend and watching his friend die in just that instant in front of him. He was here one moment and he's gone the next, like that. I think the writers did a really good job of building all of that together so we don't question when he snaps.
Right.
Yeah.
We get it. We get it. We might not agree with it, but we get it.
Yep.
I even like the little, the little cosmetic stuff of them having the blood coming out of his helmet, coming down his ear. I mean, he was really they were fighting like, I don't know what. Yeah. That was what's with the knives? So, I mean, they were really going at it. But then that one bump to the pillar, and I mean, Sam stops, Bucky stops, even all of them stopped. Carly even went, oh shoot! Now she's already killed all these people,
right?
Yeah,
but
Carly knew it at that moment. She's like, oh shit! The first thing you could see it, like run.
Yep. She was like,
run.
Yeah.
I won't say that. I would say, if anything, the difference for Carly was like the people she killed before. That wasn't personal. Like, she did not personally do that. Like, she set off a bomb. It wasn't her literal action. Literally killing a person because she hit him and he died.
Right. No, I agree with you. That was another thing I was going to bring up too. I thought that was also very poignant, and I thought it was very well pointed out and done. Yeah. That killing somebody yourself is very different. Killing anything by yourself is very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was just going to say that wasn't a death she could distance herself from.
No,
absolutely.
And I just want to go back to the one point when Sam and Bucky come in to meet Carly. I thought it was really interesting that Sam now was fully Falcon. He didn't come there to talk to her like he did the first time. Hey, I'm just coming into the funeral. He just walked in without his armor on. But after they threatened Sarah and the boys, he was in full armor with Red Wing. Yeah. What you got to say?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not playing no more, girl.
No, I'm not playing with you.
No,
I tried, little girl.
Yeah,
but you ain't hearing me. It's time for a spanking.
Right, and it got real. Yep. Yeah, it got real. And it's a really chilling scene. The whole fight and everything, and the bust through the window. Oof. It was a classic land on that van, though. He landed on that van like Captain America, baby.
They all land like that.
Wow, it was like boom. And I'm like, oh my God, he's in full battle hero mode. Look out. He just got the first guy he saw. Yep. Which happened to be the one that said earlier at the gravesite, I used to be a Captain America fan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay, one question. Did he have superpowers too?
Yes.
Yeah,
actually,
he did.
It was, wait, who?
The guy who got killed? Yeah, he had taken the serum.
He had taken the serum too.
No, I don't think
did he?
Lamar took the serum.
No, not Lamar.
The guy
we moved ahead. We moved ahead. We're already. I guess we're going to talk about the point where he kills the guy.
Oh no, I was just like trying to figure out what guy. So yeah, no, everyone with Carly is a super soldier.
Okay.
And there is a moment when the fight is happening where John, he hits one of them. No, he actually like bends like a rebar pipe or whatever. And Sam looks at him and he has that realization where it's all like, oh, God damn it. Like, this guy took the serum. How did this guy take the serum? This man took the serum. Yeah, at the end, we have John really just going after the first person he could find.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering why he had taken the serum, because he was just so like, he wasn't gonna go up against him, you know. Like if I was the super guy, I would have been like, "Oh, come on."
I would say.
Sorry, go ahead.
Say it's because all of them they're all really young, and this was never their plan. Like you see them start to like have second thoughts once Carly purposely blows up a building with people in it.
True.
Like to actually murder someone like straight up in front of everyone's eyes. That's a lot farther than they had ever thought they would go.
Right. They didn't think it through. Right. And none of them wanted to be in the position that they were in. They were still following Carly, you know, which I don't understand why, because all of them were having massive doubts about what they were doing. Well, not all of them, but we saw several of them, you know, doubting what they were doing. But yeah, this guy was trying to say like, no, dude, I did not kill your friend, Shorty. That wasn't me.
And you know what? The thing is, because I'm watching the scene now, John knows that. John goes in asking, where is she? That man died because he did not answer.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. John knew he was going to kill something. Somebody. You know, period.
Yeah. Because it's really a bunch of idealistic kids versus hardened soldiers. Like that's really your lineup here.
But idealistic kids with some really powerful toys. Children with powerful toys are still a danger and need to be dealt with. you know but
it's still a lot different than the guys who have served in actual wars and have the training behind them.
You mean as far as ability?
As far as mental state.
Well, like we're saying with the reaction to that guy, I mean, he just hey, it's not me. I mean, if I knew I was a superpower person, I would have been doing something. But, you know, he didn't even have that. He didn't even have that mindset yet. Yeah, you got the serum, but you got it yesterday. You know, you're not ready to handle Captain America coming after you. You're acting like you don't know that you got super strength.
Yeah.
I think all of them were, I think Carly's folks were still trying to catch up to to Carly. Like they were not, none of them were in that space. Like none of them wanted to be in that position. They were not in the mindset that they were that they were going to be killing people. They were still in the mindset that they were going to be helping people. They were, they were like, we're going to use our super strength so we can get these supplies. That's as far as they were going.
Yes. Right.
And so all this killing and stuff, that took all of them by surprise, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And then to be sitting on the other end of that shield and looking at a man that's got death in his eyes that is clearly unhinged.
That was a scary
of course scene. He's not going to want to try to engage. I don't think he would. I don't think he would step up. I saw that as very natural that kid was reacting the way he did.
And Carly watching the whole thing. Yeah, she saw the whole thing. That was her boy, and she's like,
she let it happen.
Yeah, just standing there. I was like,
which tells you all you need to
I'm
know
done
at
with
that
you.
point. Right. She let it happen.
I was done with her when she threatened Sarah.
Well, when she already was sacrificing people for her cause. When the one guy was like, "I'll hold them off." When
episode 1 or 2.
Back in 2. Like when they went to what's the name of that place?
They stole the medicine.
Yeah, the Madripoor. Jesus, and they were running from. When they were running from,
when they were trying to get on the plane.
Yeah, when they were
and he stayed behind. He stayed behind and held them off.
Thank you. I'm like, thank you for helping me.
You know what?
Yeah, that was the first one.
I will say, because again, I have this right in front of me. I can't say that Carly like just let it happen any more than like Sam or Bucky let it happen. Like they all kind of pull up at the scene on the same moment, and all of them. I will say, I think all of them just kind of are blinded by the shield and the uniform. They think they have expectations of what Captain America is.
Mm-hmm.
They think he's going to stop.
Everyone does.
That's a good point.
They think he's going to stop.
Yeah, no one expects Captain America to murder a man in broad daylight with his shield.
Yeah.
That's not the shield. That's not the uniform.
I'm telling you, the shield dripping with blood. It was just too much.
What an image. Yeah, what an image.
I counted. It was 7 shots with the Captain America shield.
Wow.
Well, okay.
So you're right.
The world is watching.
Everybody was
What have you done?
What have you done?
What have you done?
Yeah, it's just, it was a moment no one expected.
Day 1 of being a superhuman didn't go so well, John.
Week 1.
Week 1, yeah. That's not day 1.
That was week 1.
Week 1 did not go well. Calibrate.
Boy.
I thought one of the most telling things too was the shot of him afterwards, right? The look on his face was like, there. He was like, whew, okay, I did that. That's done. I mean, there was a look, there was a sense of accomplishment, and it felt good to him to do that. And that was
definitely he felt like he was accomplished. He sure did.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And
like
that was the scariest part.
Yeah. He's over the edge. He's gone.
Well, we knew he was gone.
Yeah.
We knew he was gone.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
Someone had to pay for what happened to Lemar, which is why I find it very hard to be like, yes, John is just absolutely out of his gourd, definitely crossed the line. Still, I mean, I feel it would be disingenuous to just be all like, oh yeah, John's a terrible person for avenging his best friend's death, because I've seen Iron Man do it. Steve Rogers, after trying to drink himself to death after losing Bucky, was all like, okay, let's just take on all the Nazis. We're going to take on all the Hydra. Yep, this is my life now.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's saying, well, I'm not saying.
I just did. I said it, but okay.
Yeah,
I get it.
They all did these things. It doesn't make it right. And the thing is, like, he's not like a bad person. He's sick.
You know what? I want to go back to congratulating this actor that's playing John Walker.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Come on, because he really has us like, you're like, I get it, but I hate you, and I get it, and what are you doing, and I hate you.
Almost, he's got me talking about him almost as much as I talk about Kai Wen.
Okay.
I mean, because Louise Fletcher just did this amazing job with that character, and you hate her every time she comes on the screen. And he's doing the same thing. Like, he is really.
You
but
saying
he's also
her name made me cringe just by saying her name. That's how effective that woman was. I'm sorry.
Right?
Go ahead.
You know, but
Right.
I mean, like, he's doing the same thing with John Walker. You know, he's
Shout
so
out to
incredibly, and he's putting all the nuances on the character, and you know, giving him that depth. That he's not like this one-dimensional
Right.
guy.
Yeah.
He's just Wyatt Russell. Thank you. Sorry.
I found myself
Sorry,
saying,
Wyatt.
I can't wait to see what his next role is going to be, because I'm going to follow Brian Russell. Brian Russell?
Wyatt.
Wyatt Russell, because I just thought that was just a great scene. I mean, he's given so many great scenes in this whole thing. And, you know, to make you just kind of, in 4 episodes, he's got us just twisted up. And you have to say it's the writing. It's definitely the directing, because I thought the direction in this was super. Loved it all.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's the whole trifecta here. He nails this character.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even though I won't say the character's name just yet, because we're not there, Wyatt as John Walker encapsulates exactly what John Walker is supposed to be.
Mm.
Like, where Steve Rogers is the American ideal, Walker was meant to be the truth.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Uh-oh. I hear
Really
that.
good. That's a great way to put that, JD.
Somebody write that down.
Yep.
Oh, we got it on tape.
Like, we all want to be Steve Rogers, but honestly, the country is John Walker. We're not getting much better.
You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait to talk about episode 5.
I know you wanted to talk about it in the beginning of this.
Oh, it's so hard not to. It's so hard to talk about episode 4 without talking about episode 5.
I feel the same way, because I'm super excited to name drop John Walker in episode 6. Like, I'm dying for that moment. That's the conversation right there.
All right, then we're gonna shut this one down, this podcast down, and so we can get ready to record episode 5. And everyone else, you're gonna have to tune in for our next show, episode number 16, to find out what's so great about episode 5.
She's so right. Sister, thank you, JD, for a good job in leading the discussion. Yay! Applause all around.
Thank you.
We're gonna end there with the blood on the shield.
I know. So this has been fun. Can't wait to come back and do it again. We really want to know what you guys think of episode 4, and any comments that you have about what we talked about, or anything that we left out that you wanted to talk about. So Yvette, love, how can people get in touch with us and let us do that?
You can find us at SyFy That's SyFysistas.com. Join us on the mothership. That's MUTHASHIP. And the SyFy Sistas Book Club, both on Facebook. On Instagram, SyFy.Sistas. And we're also on Twitter at SyFy Sistas.
Yay. Those are all the places you can reach us. We're looking forward to talking to you, to writing with you, to communicating with you. And we want to shout out our awesome sound engineer, Dose the Anonymous One. He's responsible for all the music you hear on our show, and as well as editing and doing all that great work that I really honestly don't want to learn how to do. And he's amazing and patient and wonderful and talented. And if you need his skills, you can find him at dosetheanonymous1@gmail.com. That's DOSTHEANONYMOUS, the number 1 @gmail.com.
Dose, 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 dose.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were going to do
stop.
our own jam. We'll leave him to create all the jams. Love you all. See you next time. Peace, love, and hair grease.